Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So, going into this week, we have an energy report for the week, okay? I'm super excited about this. And so let me just tell you how it's working. Okay, so I'm incorporating it and making it a stronger and stronger report for us. So it's basically tying in the lead team collective pendulum messages for the week, which I have for you. And I will tell you though, there's four of them. Okay. It's going to tie that in with the astrology for the week and the current events of the last 2 days. Okay. To help us kind of see what is the energy around the astrology and the current events. And when I mean by current events, I asked Mabel for events from the last 2 days. So every time I run it, it'll be the last 2 days. Okay. For political, US and global, as well as economics. Okay. So anything that's trending, like interesting topics that are trending. Okay. So that we can see at a glance what is going on in the world, how does that fit with the astrology, and how does it fit with our spirit guide messages? Okay, so I think this is going to be really, really rich. And so we're going to do a weekly report on Sundays. I'll do a monthly report at the beginning of each month, and we're going to do the daily, nightly, reports as long as I, have the energy to do the nightly ones. So you should be getting those roughly 4 or 5 times a week. Okay. As long as there's interest. I think this is fascinating. Now, the other thing I'd like to preface is that our astrologer, the community astrologer, Faye, and if you're wondering who she is in the community business directory, as well as a whole bunch of other of us. We have a lot of small businesses from our community in the small business directory. I will put a link to it right there, the QR code. The link is also in the description. Okay, we would love for it if you would check them out. All the small businesses in our community that have joined the directory. Okay. If you would like to join this is kind of a little sales pitch right here, but if you'd like to join the directory, we are actually going to probably bump up the next price bump around Labor Day. So we're going to move that. I think we have it coming up very soon. So we're going to move that a little bit. But if you want to join, now would be a good time. Okay. Before the next price hike. Okay. Anyway, so Faye is in there under spiritual. I think it's under spiritual guidance or something like that. Just take a look at the whole directory. This will get you to look at the directory. Anyway, so Faye, as well as doing my own personal astrology for me, she is watching and actually going to be going through my prompts to make sure that there's accuracy. Okay, so that's really cool, right? So because this using AI is just a test right now, and we're just seeing like how is this working. And so I just wanted you to know that I'm putting in these measures to make sure that, what we're pulling is actually going to be useful for us. So Faye is listening to this. She's looking at the prompt. She's, you know what I mean? So if there's clarification that needs to be made, then she'll guide me. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the week ahead. So I'm looking at August 24th through the 30th, 2025. Okay. So this is kind of what you can expect from an astrological perspective, what the SGs have said, the lead team collectives, or our spirit guides, and current events of the last 2 days. Okay. Getting tied into it's a little harder looking at it, just tells you the energy of the current events, basically, of what's going on. So, okay, that's not necessarily a prediction of what's going to happen, but for current events, but it gives us a little bit more flavor. All right, so let me tell you what the pendulum messages are for this week. Okay, using this pendulum, another thing you can find in the community directory as well. This came from a member of our community. Okay, so I did the prayer. I Actually had done some clearing for myself today prior. I actually did two clearings today. They did a personal clearing for me because I could just feel that energy was heavy. And I have been recently waking up again, seeing things on my ceiling. In fact, now that I'm remembering last night, I saw a camera come down and that's interesting. I saw a camera come out of my ceiling as if I had no privacy. Isn't that interesting? So clearly dealing with some stuff about not feeling or feeling, you know, under a microscope, maybe. I don't know. That's interesting. I think it has to do more politically, though, than like being here, you know? So that's interesting. I'll have to dive into that. But I asked my team, my spirit guides, if I have a portal open. Every time I have these where like I'll wake up and I'll be like half asleep, half awake. And I think I see things in my room. Like I saw a camera coming down. It wasn't a dream. I like literally saw it coming down. Usually when that's happening, I have a portal open and there's a lot of other energies in my room. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm kind of bouncing around the energies or something, or they're affecting me, my dream state maybe. So I need to go. That's what I'm going to do next is go into my bedroom and close that portal. I just figured I had these things happen to me for a very long time until I started realizing once I got the dowsing rods about 8 or 10 years ago, I realized that once I closed the portals, then it didn't happen anymore. I was like, what? I stopped having these like wake up in the middle of the night seeing things. It's usually like in the first 30 minutes of me going to sleep anyways, like probably going into REM or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to do that next, close those. But I did my energy clearing. There's an energy clearing that I just did that helps you clear anything that you're picking up, that low vibration or maybe concern you have around what the Trump administration is doing. I put that out earlier today. I will post that video right here at the end of this. I highly recommend you bookmark it. It's 3 minutes long, I think. You can go to 3:45, 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go right to the clearing if you want to. So I just have a little introduction in the beginning of it and sit for 3 minutes and read the comments. People are already saying, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. So that's the whole point of it. Okay. All right. And bookmark it, because if you bookmark it, you could do it like once a day or, it's this way it allows us to keep watching what's going on, but stay neutral, but it's going to feel heavy from time to time. And then you can do that clearing. Okay. Okay. So the pendulum messages are for the week. These are interesting. These are quite different than what we've gotten before. So this week, we're not getting, why are you? These are more like energy messages, which is kind of interesting. Okay. So the first thing they spelled out was low vibration. Okay. So low vibration. So we'll see how that ties into the astrology for the week. Okay. And current events. All right. The next one was make America safe again. So they spelled that out. Once again, I've told you guys over the last couple of weeks when I do pendulum messages, I'm not hearing them. I get the message in my brain as they're spelling it out. I'm just so fascinating. If I could get to finally just doing some meditation, I probably don't even need to use the pendulum anymore, but I would obviously need to be practicing that for a while before I fully trusted it. But so make America safe again. Okay, that's interesting. So again, we'll see how that ties into the astrology. Watch for angels. That's a message for the week. Watch for angels. How cool is that? And the last message, we have 4, is about time. I don't know what that means. Now, I did decide for now, because, I like to change things up. For now, I am going to do an oracle reading with these messages like I've been doing in the past, but this is going to be a perk of the Spirit Circle for now. Okay. I cycle things in and out and do different things based on my interests. But today I am going to do, Spirit Circle members, if you're a Spirit Circle member, it's just a membership for the channel. I'll be doing that today, the oracle messages for these. Okay. So we'll get a little bit more information. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the energy report for the week. Okay, again, tying all of those in. All right, so the overview for the week, and then I'm going to go. So I'm going to do an overview. We've got crystal recommendations for the overview, which, they gave me pronunciation, even for tourmaline. I even know how to spell that or pronounce it. Doesn't mean I'm still going to pronounce it correctly, but we'll see. We've got a section on spiritual, okay, so that encompasses relationships, social wellness, and our community. So we're going to be talking about the predictions, the current events, and the spiritual practices for that. Political, which will include US, global, and Trump's chart, actually. So we're going to see what's Trump's chart saying for this upcoming week. And then I have economic, US, global, and individual. Okay, so you'll get a little bit of that as well. Okay, all right. So let's see. All right, the overview. This week ahead heralds a crossroads between relief and unrest, reflective of a powerful tension between cautious optimism in financial signals and humanitarian distress elsewhere. The pendulum messages interlace these current events. Low vibration signals what must be released. That's cool, right? You might want to take some notes. I feel like I should take some notes. So low vibration signals what must be released. Make America Safe Again echoes structural craving for stability. Watch for Angels invites divine assistance. And About Time marks overdue reckoning and change. Totally. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. Okay, predictions for the week. Collectively, this week invites us to release entrenched anxieties, low vibration. So definitely do that clearing right here, okay? Because you can actually, when you do any of the clearings, now I have a playlist. I'll post the playlist right here. The playlist is called Energy Clearings, okay? There's other ones in the Spirit Circle as well. So you Spirit Circle, you get more specific stuff. There's an energy clearing playlist that, again, at the end of the video, it'll pop right here. And you can always ask for additional things from your guides when those clearings are taking place, okay? Or you can cut, clear, and cancel something I've said in the clearing. So make it your own, okay? So collectively this week invites us to release entrenched anxieties, that's the low vibration, while reinforcing calls for governance that truly protects and uplifts Make America Safe Again. Angelic support is posed to appear whether in policy shifts, community healing, or in intuitive insights. I got to read that again. Angelic support, again, this is the watch for angels, is poised to appear, whether in policy shifts, community healing, or intuitive insights. And needed transformations are arriving. Needed transformations are arriving. About Time underscores that the moment for action has finally come. Okay, so we've got two crystals for the overall energy of the week. Okay, black tourmaline, which is grounding, purifies negative energy, and celestite. Celestite. I knew I was going to say that one wrong. Celestite. I think it's celestite. It's Celestite. I love that one. It's like, I don't have any right here, but it's the angel. It's like the angel. It's blue. It's just beautiful. It sparkles. So celestite, I think is how you say it. Opens channels to angelic insight and intuitive clarity. Okay, so if you've got those two, that would be good for the overall. Okay, all right, let's look at spirituality for the week. So the spiritual prediction. This week's Virgo new moon, which was August 23rd, okay, so that was yesterday, still reverberating into the week ahead, offers a cradle of healing, calling us into service and clarity. It asks us to notice where we are caught in low vibration patterns. Low vibration, okay? Fear, distraction, toxic relationships, and replace them with practical steps towards healing. With Mercury now moving out of retrograde. With Mercury now moving out of retrograde shadow, yay, I think, clarity and truth telling become easier. Watch for angels in unexpected places, messages through synchronicity, dreams, or strangers who bring guidance just when you need it. Current event reflection. The UN Declaration of Famine in Gaza is a collective mirror of this spiritual call. It shows what happens when humanity sinks into low vibration through neglect, denial, and destructive power systems. Spirit says this is not just a geopolitical issue, but a spiritual one. Compassion, service, and awakening to global interconnection are about time. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. So spiritual practice. I feel like we could take down each of these things and like tomorrow look at that specifically, with the SGs, You guys will have to tell me. This is kind of a thing that's unfolding. I'm unfolding this and seeing what's the most effective way of having these conversations, okay? But this feels so much better and healthier for my psyche to approach current events in this way, tying them into the astrology, because those are things that are happening. We don't have much push. I mean, it's a push and pull we don't have any control over, right? So let's not try to control it because we can't. So pulling that in plus our spiritual, and remember, AI is not giving me the spiritual messages. That's a totally different, okay? So just the current event and the tie-in with the astrology. So, okay. So yeah, so as I read comments and you guys, like you might say, boy, it would really be kind of cool to explore this a little further or this a little further. Let me know, and we'll work on that. Okay. All right. So the spiritual practice in this area for spirituality, some ideas. Okay, is journal about what drains your energy versus what nourishes your soul. All right, set a small but concrete act of service this week. Volunteering, donating, or simply extending support to someone in need. So I think that's really good because of what's happening. They've tied in the current event of what's happening in Gaza, that this is not just a geopolitical event, but a spiritual one. Okay, compassion, service, and awakening to global interconnection. So even though you might not be able to do something directly in Gaza or related to, you can do it where you are and have that energy sent. That's just an idea I had off the top of my head there. So use celestite. You guys. I'm sorry. I know. It's just, I'm sorry. It's just the thing I have. We all have our imperfections, right? So celestite to strengthen angelic connection and guidance. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So political. This ties in U.S., global, and Trump's chart for the week coming up. Okay. So U.S. Focus prediction. In the U.S., the political atmosphere mirrors Saturn, Neptune's retrograde push at 0 degrees Aries, which I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to put it out there for those who like to hear that. Truth rising where illusions once held power. Truth rising where illusions once held power. That's awesome. The pendulum's call to make America safe again is not about regression. It's about restructuring systems to genuinely protect people. Powell's Jackson Hole remarks on the economy signal shifts in governance. Oh. Powell's Jackson Hole remarks on the economy signal shifts in governance, safely reframed through stability. Spirit adds releasing low vibration rhetoric that divides is part of America's healing. Very cool. Okay. I mean, I am going to have to study this for myself and just like break it down, you know? So I'll get better at like reading these and kind of helping you break it down as we move forward. Okay. All right. Current events. The Federal Reserve's hint at rate cuts brought market relief, yet also exposed how fragile people's trust in leadership is. This is about time, again, about time was the pendulum message, for leaders to shift from quick fixes to systemic reform. Absolutely. Because lowering rates, I mean, this whole thing, I mean, then they're going to be printing money and it's this whole, it's this whole thing about, our debt basically in the US. Okay, global focus. Across the world, Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. Look at me spelling all the words, pronouncing all the words. It's just a new language for me. Amplify shocks to alliances and trade. Oh. The US-India trade crisis, alongside the European White House security talks, shows that the global system is rebalancing. So the global system is rebalancing. See, this is why I love this, because we don't necessarily know that based on all the headlines we see, right? We don't know that behind the scenes. But if this is what the pendulum messages are and the astrology with the current events, maybe we can trust that some of this stuff is rebalancing, even if we don't see it. I mean, I don't see anybody on YouTube going, the US is rebalancing, like a really positive. Everything is disaster related, right? So that's why I feel like this type of thing is so important for us as a community to still see. This is what I've been trying to get to myself, is still look at the 3D, but stay in the 5D and trust. Trust in the 3D is shifting, and, is it? I don't know. None of us know individually. None of us can say it's a disaster. None of us can say that because we don't, all we get are these snippets, right? And so this is what we have to hang our hats on, is trusting that the big picture is occurring, even if we're not hearing it. Okay. We can trust that in the 5D, we'll be able to look back and say, okay, it is working. It is happening. It's not going to be fast, but it's going to be happening. Okay. So I think it's kind of cool. Okay. So Spirit's message about time reflects the inevitability. What? Inevitability. Sorry, you guys. I know I get very embarrassed. Look, I'm red, but that doesn't stop me from doing this. Okay. Spirit's message about time reflects the inevitability of this reckoning. Watch for angels may show through unexpected diplomacy, breakthroughs in stalled negotiations, or humanitarian interventions that turn the tide. All right, current events. The famine in Gaza mirrors low vibration energy, political paralysis manifesting as humanitarian collapse. Political paralysis. This is a lot of reading for me. And I know you'll be like, why didn't you read it ahead of time? Well, I did. But I don't usually read that much. So political paralysis. I mean, I read, but not out loud. Sorry. I'll get through this. We'll get through this. Okay. I hope you're not totally annoyed. Just hang in there with me. It'll get better over time. Okay. Political paralysis manifesting as humanitarian collapse. Pluto's transit is exposing where power structures must be reformed for survival. You know what my issue is I'm trying to actually think about what they're saying at the same time that I'm trying to read it. Okay, Pluto's transit is exposing where power structures must be reformed for survival. All right, Trump's chart. Let's see what Dumpy's doing. All right. Trump's natal chart is still under Mars tension this month. The Virgo new moon activates his Mercury-Neptune dynamics, emphasizing distorted communication and his personal health narrative. Oh. The pendulum's Make America Safe Again resonates with his rhetoric, continues to mirror collective fears and desires for protection. Spirit cautions, low vibration around him pulls the collective down. Okay, that is incredible that I just did that clearing today before I even ran this report. I just felt like I had to do it. Like I actually talked about it in a Coffee with Karen that's coming out in the morning. And I was like, I really should do a collective, like cleared Trump energy. Interesting. Spirit cautions, low vibration around him pulls the collective down. Let's not let us as the collective get pulled down by that. Okay. So current events, Trump's recent Fox and Friends interview on August 19th revealed his focus on getting to heaven. We've talked about this in a separate episode. By saving lives in Ukraine, a stark example of Neptune retrograde clarity surfacing in distorted form. Spirit underlines, about time we discern between illusion and authentic leadership. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's interesting. Faye, I'll be interested to see what you say about that. Okay, spiritual practice here. Under the political, okay, under the whole political U.S. world and Trump's natal, okay, natal chart. Okay, light a candle for truth and leadership, asking guides to help dissolve distortion. Visualize angels present in political spaces. That's cool. Softening hearts and shifting outcomes. Crystals, you can use lapis, how do they pronounce this? Lazuli, lapis, supports truth and leadership, and obsidian, shields against manipulative or false narratives. All right, let's look at the economics for the week. So U.S. focus, we have a U.S. focus, global focus, and individual, okay? So U.S. focus, markets responded positively to Powell's Jackson Hole speech, reflecting optimism and easing ahead. Astrologically, Mercury moving out of shadow allows clearer forward momentum. Okay. Spirit frames this as low vibration fears beginning to lift about the economy. Okay, so again, this isn't financial advice or anything. Okay. So Spirit frames this as low vibration fears beginning to lift, though fragility remains. Okay, so keep that in mind. Spirit says it's about time for a focus on real economic safety nets, not just market cycles. Yes. And getting us out of debt. We need a legit, it's not complicated. It's just these guys, this whole system is just about the 543 people. And who knows at a state level? I'm just talking at a national level. Ugh. Okay. So current events, relief in Wall Street's rebound, Dow and S&P gains. Mirrors, that was from Friday. Okay. Mirrors the pendulum's message, reassurance and restructuring alignment with Make America Safe Again. But that's just kind of from Friday. I wouldn't use that as a prediction coming tomorrow. Okay. So global prediction, the U.S.-India trade crisis and shifting flows into emerging markets reveal Pluto and Uranus shaking the foundations of global finance. Spirit's about time points to overdue diversification of economic power. Low vibration greed is giving way to collective pressure for fairness. I love that. I love the low vibration messages in here. What are your so far? I only have a little bit more to go, but what are your favorite parts of this report. What's the most helpful for you? That would be helpful for me to know. Okay. Because if I get like, I only like this part, I don't know, then, I mean, again, I got to look collectively, but I just like some feedback on it. And I know your least favorite part is me trying to read and pronounce words, but we'll get over that. Okay, so the surge of capital into emerging markets, fueled by mistrust in U.S. fiscal domination, reflects Uranus in Gemini, shaking confidence, but also innovating pathways. So we've got this, we're getting, this is global. It's shaking the confidence, but it's also innovating. So we get to hear both sides. We get to hear the struggle and the optimism of what's happening here. Okay. All right. Individual, again, not financial advice or anything like that. Individual focus, prediction. Personally, this week invites financial clarity. As Mercury clears shadow, you may see exactly where your resources need restructuring. Release low vibration spending habits. I love this low vibration. It's so amazing. Like, what are your low vibration spending habits? However you want to see that, Seek grounding. Trust that angels may guide you towards surprising support. So ask your angels tell them to surprise you. Surprise me this week. Delight me this week financially. Why not? Ask for that. Okay, spiritual practice. Write a list of financial leaks where money and energy is wasted. Commit to closing one leak this week. Keep black tourmaline on your desk or in your wallet to protect against financial anxiety. So we've got black tourmaline and green aventurine. Yeah. The more I get these, then I'll know how to say them. But so green aventurine, turine. Opens flow for prosperity and renewal. So green aventurine opens flow for prosperity and renewal. Black tourmaline grounds and dissolves fear-based scarcity thinking. Okay, in closing, this week blends relief with reckoning, financial optimism, political turbulence, and humanitarian crisis. Spirit affirms we must lift out of low vibration. Again, I just feel like that. I think that's going to be kind of the theme for the week is low vibration, but we'll see what the daily reports bring. Demand true safety. We need to start demanding that in all areas. And, that's, the make America safe again, but that also could be energy for other areas of the world too. Okay. Open to higher help. Watch for your angels and embrace overdue transformation. Embrace overdue transformation. And now we're becoming much more aware, at least I am. I'm sure some of you maybe have been aware all along, but I'm becoming much more aware of how the overdue transformation has been needed for 50 years or longer. So, I mean, that is overdue transformation, not just from the last 8 months, or the last 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, So, all right. Well, let me know what you think, and we'll keep plugging away and making this more and more effective for all of us. And I look forward to your ideas. Let me know from this report, what part of it resonated the best with you? What are you taking away for this week coming up? Is there one thing you plan to do based on recommendations from Spirit here? Okay. All right. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.